beginning of this story was the birth of the modern civil rights movement, when Emmett Till, a 14-year-old African American accused of flirting with a white woman, was lynched in Mississippi in 1955. Georgia College explored the life, death, and inspiration of Emmett Till in The Ballad of Emmett Till by Ifa Baeza. This lynching followed some 300 years of oppression of African Americans in our country. 100 days after Emmett Till's lynching, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a bus in Montgomery. 8 years after that, on the anniversary of Emmett Till's murder, Dr. Martin Luther King at the March on Washington delivered his speech, "I Have a Dream." Countless others have continued in this struggle for equality and justice. The unfinished business of the movement continued into the summer of 2020 and set the stage for this reaction called Giving Voice.
On March 23, 2020, a black man by the name of Daniel Prude died from asphyxiation a week after police in Rochester, New York responded to a house call sent out by Prude's own family requesting that the police help Daniel Prude, who was suffering from what was described as an acute manic psychotic episode. Now, I won't get into all the sickening details, but what is the truth? Did the officers bully Prude, mocking him, asking him, well, you don't got AIDS, do you? You got HIV? Daniel Prude literally said, "You're trying to kill me." Daniel Prude's brother said, "I placed a call so my brother could get help, not so my brother could get lynched." And Daniel Prude was brain dead for that entire week that led in his death. Now, unfortunately, those are all facts. But what's the truth? Needless to say, a black man in the need of help died due to police brutality. Now, when I heard this tragic story, my first question was, well, what happened to the police officers? On September 3rd, the New York Times reported 7 police officers suspended. Was that true? Because on September 8th, the ABC News reported Rochester Police Chief Deputy stepped down suddenly. Was that the truth? Because on September 14th, the New York Times reported Rochester mayor abruptly fires police chief. But regardless of what the truth is another black life is now gone.
In June, about a month after the killing of George Floyd and the rebirth of the Black Lives Matter movement, I learned about someone named Elijah McClain. Elijah was a 23-year-old black massage therapist, and on his lunch breaks, he would often go to the nearby pet store and play the violin for the cats in the window because he believed it put the cats at ease. This already shows you the type of person Elijah was. One night in August 2019, Elijah was walking home from the store. He was wearing a ski mask because he was anemic and often got cold. Someone noticed him and called 911 for flailing his arms and listening to music. They saw this as suspicious, but made it clear to the police that they didn't believe that anyone was in any danger. Elijah's encounter with the police that night resulted in his death. He was walking home without a weapon. While he was being tortured by police, he said things like, "I'm an introvert. I'm just different, that's all." He said, "Why are you attacking me? I don't even kill flies. I don't eat meat." Elijah pleaded for police to forgive him, apologized profusely for crimes he didn't commit, told the officers who were torturing him that they were beautiful and phenomenal, and told them that he loved them. To sedate him, Elijah, who was 140 pounds, was given enough ketamine for a 220-pound man. Days later, he went into cardiac arrest twice and was declared brain dead. But why is being a good person a requirement for deserving justice? Elijah deserves justice because he was wrongly murdered at the hands of police. That's it. People against the Black Lives Matter movement love to bring up George Floyd's criminal past as a way to justify his treatment that resulted in his death. "I can't breathe," said George Floyd on May 25th, 2020. "I can't breathe," said Elijah McClain on August 24th, 2019, as have many others. This is for Elijah, George, and the countless Black lives that we've lost due to police brutality and racism. Everybody deserves justice.
Silence. Oppressor. Protester. Injustice. Oppressed. Intolerance. Love. Unity. Silence.
I will fight. Fight for my life. Fight in spite of the strife. Fight for my rights. Fight in the light of the light. So I will fight. For weeping childless mothers, the stolen souls of my sisters and brothers, who saw peephole to death down the barrel of a gun, the muzzle flash hotter and brighter than the sun, searing the innocence of the old and young. No longer shall their songs be unsung, for as long as I have might, I will fight. Fight for my life, fight in spite of the strife, fight for my rights, fight in the light of the light. So I will fight. For the strangled truth of society, asphyxiated under the oppressive knee of authority. I'm on my knees, but not because I'm weak, but because I believe in the land of the truly free. My arms won't tire, and I won't rest until everyone knows why we protest. For a vision of hope and a future bright, I will fight. Fight for my life, fight in spite of the strife, fight for my rights, fight in the light of the light. So I will fight.
your knee up off my neck. Oh, oh, oh. Why did I deserve such disrespect? Oh, oh, oh. Honestly, do you believe that you had to take my life from me? Don't wanna spend my life running, running, keep on running in circles. Don't wanna waste my time running, running.
If you're still gonna cut me down,
I just wanna breathe. I can't breathe till we're all free. I won't rest till we see peace. I won't give up in the struggle. I will fight for my brother till we're free, till we are all free. I can't breathe till we're all free. I won't rest till we see peace. I won't give up in the struggle. I will fight for my brother till we're free, till we are all free.
I can't breathe till we all free. Can't live to the coast clear.
Equal rights like a Gemini.
My whole country won't treat me right.
Signs up with my hands up. How I'm supposed to fight back in some handcuffs. Rough times, party lines, we done had enough.
And on top of all that, now I'm masked up.
Mask off, face off like I'm John T. If I show you who I am, will you run from me? No gun, no knife, not just me. I'm trying to make real moves like a chess piece.
Trayvon and George and they get a say.
But I pray, Lord, I pray for a better way.
And in the meantime, let's have a conversation and bring some revelation to this broken nation.
I can't breathe, no.
There's no trust, there's no love, no protection.
I can't breathe, no.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Justice, no peace, till everybody can breathe. No justice, no peace, till everybody can breathe. No justice, no peace, till everybody can breathe.
Yo no puedo respirar hasta que seamos libres. Yo no puedo descansar hasta que veamos paz. No me rendiré en la lucha, voy a luchar por mi hermano hasta ser libres, que somos libres. I can't breathe till we're all free. I won't rest till we see peace. I won't give up in the struggle. I will fight for my brother till we're free, till we're all free. I can't breathe till we're all free. I won't rest till we see peace. I won't give up in the struggle. I will fight for my brother till we're free, till we're all free.
A few days ago, I sat down and tried to write a monologue for this musical. I thought about my experiences with racism and really tried to put them into a show-ready format, and yet, nothing. I soon realized that I couldn't put my experiences with racism into words because it's not my place to say shit. White people love to preach about how much they're not racist so much that we are actively suppressing black voices. We need to be amplifying them instead of trying to add our own uninformed, inexperienced comments. No one wants to hear white people's think pieces on Facebook and Twitter, except for other white people who are looking for validation that they're not actually racist. Now, yes, speak up when you have to. Put your whack-ass uncle in his place on Thanksgiving. Tell your local middle schoolers to stop throwing around the N-word like it's candy. But for the love of God, actually learn and listen to what black people have to say. In fact, I'm gonna shut up now because there are more important voices to be heard than some white girl from Athens with 48 followers on Twitter.
Last month, a Confederate soldier statue was taken from my town square. A massive moment in the Black Lives Matter movement where I live. You know, I had heard about the protests, the peaceful but effective ones, and the removal. But as a white female, I can never understand the oppression that people of color face. So is it really my job to know what's going on or to even act upon it? An attitude that I'm slowly learning is doing nothing but feeding into ignorance, which is something that I now also know is entirely a choice and isn't bliss in any form, especially when ignorance or lack of action is in direct relation to people's lives and rights as human beings. I am white. Privilege comes along with that. That's something that is inevitable. But me, as someone with privilege, educating myself, seeing the need for change and acting upon it, it's entirely my responsibility. God, education is so important. Please, whatever side you want to argue for, just know what the hell you're talking about. As my eyes begin to be opened, I'm meeting so many people who are thirsty for change. And it's inspiring. People of every background unifying, ready to be the water in this drought for justice. I'm proud to be a part of a generation that is not and never will be complacent. We are game changers, move makers of future generations. As I begin to adjust my own perception, I can only hope to see a massive wave of change. It's time.
I should just get over it. Get over. You telling me I should get over slavery? Why? Because you had nothing to do with it? Because no white owns a slave today? Because no black is a slave today? You telling me slavery is a thing of the past and that blacks should just forget about it and move on? But how can we when slavery still haunts us today? How can we when racism is still alive today as it was back then? How can we when we're still being discriminated against? How can we when we're still fighting for equality? How can we when we're still fighting for the right to live? Don't tell me to get over it just because you're too nervous to face it. Forgetting about slavery is like accepting that it never existed. Moving on from slavery is like accepting that you and I are equals and that there's no more work to be done for the black community. I guess it's easy for a privileged person like yourself to forget and get over slavery when you're still living the good life. But don't tell me to get over it when I am still breathing and living the devastating effect of slavery. Because make no mistake, you and I are not equals.
Colin Kaepernick was an American football player who started a nationwide uproar when he kneeled during the national anthem at a football game with a few of his fellow teammates. Kaepernick was blacklisted, disrespected, and hated for using his voice to protest the injustices to black lives that this country has caused and condoned. He was told that he should just shut up and throw the football. He didn't. Colin is an inspiration to America. He was the catalyst that sparked revolution. He was a model for our First Amendment rights, and yet he was punished for it. And that makes me incredibly angry. Kaepernick said, "When there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way it's supposed to, I'll stand."
Da 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 da. I know that shit grows old, but we remain and stay strong. I know that shit grows old, but we remain and stay strong. So many times I step outside, I catch my breath. So many times That's cause you ain't been feeling safe and you ain't need nothing yet. Brain is bouncing from pain to pain. If a black man killed them, we'll do a thing. Ain't this a land where freedom ring? Ain't no for straight white men only. Yeah. But we can't be pissed, yeah. Gotta take this shit from this fake ass president, yeah. Shit grows old, but we remain and stay strong. I know that shit grows old, but we remain and stay strong.
But I don't understand. I thought all lives mattered.
Of course, all lives matter, but the point of the Black Lives Matter movement is to highlight the fact that Black lives do matter, because people don't seem to think that they do.
But I mean, it's simple, right? Just like follow the law, then nothing bad will happen.
Except it's not that simple. You ever heard of Breonna Taylor? She was shot dead in her sleep, in the comfort of her own bedroom. What law was she disobeying then?
Okay, but what about George Floyd? He was resisting arrest and he had drugs in his system.
Resisting arrest is not a crime punishable by death. And even so, everyone is entitled to a fair and just trial. You're innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around.
Okay. Wow. Hey, I'm really sorry I came at you like that. Would you mind telling me a little bit more about what exactly the Black Lives Matter movement is?
Sure. If you're ever struggling to understand what Black Lives Matter is about, think about it like this. If there's a community filled with houses and one is on fire, you wouldn't spray the entire neighborhood with water. You would see to the needs of that house. Right now, every house deserves to be safe, but right now, this one house is going up in flames and needs our attention.
I feel really stupid, to be honest. I can't believe I never thought about it that way. I'm starting to realize I have a lot of work to do to change the way that I think. And I obviously will never know what it's like to be you, but I think I get it now.
My mother, Georgia, remembers going to the mall in Gainesville, Georgia after school with her friends. She thought it would be a normal trip full of Wetzel's pretzels and fashion shows. But they ran into the KKK dressed in their robes, proudly asking people to join their cause. Today, my mother is only 51 years old.
My grandparents Susan and John helped integrate schools in Little Rock. During these integration meetings, they would often stay on opposite sides of the church in case it got bombed, in fear of making their 3 children orphans. My grandpa John passed away in 1964, and my grandma Susan passed away in 2013. I know they would still be fighting today.
In the words of my mama talking about my papa, Papa would always tell of a time when he and my father went to a liquor store in Huntsville, Alabama. My father, coming from Detroit, a city where segregation wasn't as accepted, simply got into line to pay for his liquor. Little did he know it was the wrong line, or the blacks only line. When the store owner told him he was going to have to move because he was a white man and white men get to stand in the whites only line, my father responded with something along the lines of, "Now why the hell would I want to do that?" On that day, Papa and my father nearly got into fisticuffs with that store owner.
I believe that everyone should be treated the same way, hold in the same standard, and share the same opportunities. But here is my problem with hashtag All Lives Matter. We, the minority, from the moment that we are born, we are part of a rigged system that places us at a disadvantage from the majority so-called white people. It is not something new that white privilege is real. So real that places that provides white people with better education, medical care, job, income, and government resources than minority. So when I see a white person writing a post about hashtag all lives matter, it upsets me. It upsets me because hashtag all lives matter is not real. It is not real when a black man is shot and killed by the police for no other reason than his skin color. It is not real when blacks and Latinos are given more prison time for committing the same crime than a white person. It is not real when minorities are being paid less than white people for doing the same job. Hashtag all lives matter is not real until every minority is protected by the law that vows to protect everyone. It is not real hasta que todas las minorías tengan la misma educación, cuidados médicos y ayudas de gobierno que todas las personas blancas. America, we need Black Lives Matter before we get to all lives matter. Because only when we live in a country that won't stand against injustice, inequality, and violence, a country who is ready to listen to what minorities have to say and ready to change, only then, cuando todos seamos iguales, can we move to hashtag all lives matter.
Fighting to live, but they told me to wait. Fear in my mind, but they told me to pray. I won't go outside until I'm safe. For the blue ones are standing there with their chains. They told me to keep my hands above my head, so I don't give them a reason to be misread. That way, they don't see me as a threat. I don't show them how much I'm upset. For the system is ready to sign off my name. If I show resistance to the blue ones' chains, my resistance is dangerous, so they claim. Keep on breathing, that'll be up to them. But if I live to see tomorrow, I will fight like no tomorrow. For my voice needs to be heard. They can try to silence me, but their chains won't hold me any longer. For I had to become stronger, ready to fight for my struggle, ready to bleed for my brothers till we win. And at last, we are free. Free from the chains that have been holding us back. With no one no longer holding on to our back. Running through the streets alone at night. We hide, cause freedom is here. So brothers, we fly.
Look at me. What do you see? A hashtag, a statistic, a trend? Look at me. What do you see? You feel free to tell me I look incomplete. My caramel skin makes you think I must be a different breed. Look at me. What do you see? Telling me I don't qualify? I have to provide an alibi, testify, to be allowed to identify. Listen to me. What do you hear? A smart girl, a good girl, a white girl. I can't possibly be black. I'm too bright, I talk white. My own brothers and sisters don't claim me. My neighbors don't respect me. My heritage has lost me. Understand me. What do you gather? Telling me I'm too pretty to be black? too smart to be black, too different to be black. These microaggressions keep me up at night, insomniac. I've been knocked off my track. Thanks to you, I don't know who I am. My background is an enigma, this stigma of one skin fits all. Truthfully, that will be my downfall. Where do I belong?
These trials seem to weigh me down, 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 down. These trials put bullets in my crown, crown, crown. What I suspected to be my truth was not the world's reality. I saw the world as a garden with green leaves. Pain reveals strange fruit on dead trees. I am not alone in this world. Everybody's life isn't diamonds and pearls, but I'm finally considering that life may be different for people who don't look like me. If you take another look, you may find just how simple it is to be colorblind. You won't ever live somebody else's life, but you can change your mind. You don't have to be colorblind. These trials segregate the truth from the lies, lies, lies. These smiles, smiles hide the way I really feel inside, inside, inside. How could I be ignorant when it's happening in front of my eyes, my eyes, eyes? Unfair brutality, war amongst ourselves. We need the light, that's right, we need the light. We are not alone in this world. Everybody's life isn't diamonds and pearls, but I'm finally considering that life may be different. People who don't look like me. If you take another look, you may find just how simple it is to be colorblind. You won't ever live somebody else's life, but you can change your mind. We can change our mind. We can change our lives. We don't have to be colorblind.
I had a dream last night where people of different color, race, gender, ethnicity joined hands around the Statue of Liberty. Not as a group of strangers, but as brother and sister. A brotherhood and sisterhood filled with love, respect, and compassion without a single trait of hate, ignorance, and prejudice in it. Black, tan, and white fighting for justice and equality. Black, tan, and white constructing a community together. A community fighting for the right to live, love, talk, walk, and play without a weapon pointed in their head. A community that won't allow white privilege to continue to exist. A community fighting to shame because all lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. A community fighting to provide the same amount of education for you and me. A community fighting to keep you and me safe. If you ever wonder what you would have done during the civil rights movement, well, it's what you are doing today.
I'm the girl who sings without ceasing and moves through life as if it were a dance. I'm the girl who writes poems and paints sunsets. I'm the girl who falls for the cheesy love story and who can never put down a good book. I'm the girl who stops to look at the flowers because each one is new and the most beautiful she's ever seen. I'm the girl who sees the goodness in everyone, no matter the person. I'm the peacemaker, the caregiver, and the dreamer. Despite this, I'm the worrier. I'm the first to give advice and the last to take my own. I'm the girl who stresses every decision, hoping that it isn't the wrong one. I've always wanted very little. Only that when I leave this earth, I feel as if I lived every day as if there wasn't a moment to spare. To feel as if no matter what happened, I somehow managed to create my own path. I want to have chased the sun like it was never coming back. I want to have stopped to smell the flowers, each and every one. I want to know that whatever happens, I'll always stop to look at the flowers, and that each one will always be more beautiful than the last. I want to stand up for what I believe in. I want to help those who need help, and to love those who feel unloved, and to raise the voices of those who have been left voiceless. I hope I can one day look back on my life and the journey I've lived and know that it was good. And despite the lessons I've learned, I'll be happy where I am and with where I've been. And after seeing the evil and the harshness of an unjust world, I'll find peace in knowing that I lived every moment in the truth that is mine and mine alone. That I stood up for what I believed in. That I was on the right side of history. And that I chose to see the beauty of this life no matter how ugly it got. That I'll always be and will have always been that girl.
Before I go, before I fade away, tell me now, is it worth to take my life, bring my faith? What will you gain? To cut me down, to take my light away. Oh, I don't know what you've been through. What have I done to wrong you? Hold on, lower your guard. Hold on, I don't wanna die, I don't wanna die. Please don't let this be the last thing I see, the last thing I see. I'll hold my tongue, I put my hate aside. I pray, oh God, will I get out alive? I want to see my family one last time. I don't want this to be my last goodbye. Oh, I don't know what you've been through. What have I done to wrong you? Hold on, lower your guard. Hold on, I don't wanna die, I don't wanna die. Please don't let this be the last thing I see, the last thing I see.
I used to say, I don't see color. But in my blindness, I failed to realize our differences. Like the fact that you and I are both pretty in our own way, but no one will ever call me pretty for a white girl. I used to say white privilege wasn't real. What a privileged thing to assume. I used to say all lives matter. Yes, all lives matter, but the emphasis is on Black lives because they're the ones being shot, the ones being profiled, the ones being taken too soon. They're the ones that have to alter themselves to fit through a narrow arch of whiteness, an arch that I helped build. I say I'm not racist, but in that statement I have chosen neutrality, otherwise known as the side of the oppressor. The law isn't on their side, so I lay down my pride, climb down from this ivory tower. The ship of ignorance has sailed. Apologies to my brothers and sisters. I will never fully grasp. I will never understand, but I don't have to understand as long as I understand that I don't understand. Dear fellow white people, don't speak. Just listen. I will listen. I will fight. By your side, ally, friend. I will stand.
I am America, a great terrain, and none can say otherwise. Don't let the blemish of my foundation lead you astray, for my merits can and will be deemed worthy of history's wall of fame. The notion of a girl of color forever succumbing to rock bottom can only be a mere folly, as you gawk at my diploma of promise to achieve more than what many thought I couldn't receive. Gaze upon my complex traits, a true masterpiece, is it not? From my curly hair to my chocolate skin to the drums of my feet. Hey! Y'all better notice me. Even so, I can never wave my flag of confidence as freely as the flag I represent, because what Mama and Daddy see as a lovely hue is a target sign to the darker side of patriotism. You might be wondering why I sound so serene when it's crystal clear that the land of the free and the home of the brave is a blurry path for me. Well, here's a perfect reason. The same God that made you made me. I am America, and I'm not holding my breath for an apology. Let these zanies and fools try and trump my future, because in their future, they'll be working for me. I am America, a girl who once dreamed of being a princess to being a queen of her own destiny.
Unity, equity, and equality are the goals of the movement. We support the continuing struggle of African Americans and a cry for unity and peace.
Together right now.